guys. So today's video is probably not what you expected. In fact, last video I'd actually planned on doing a second part to it last week, but there were some complications. So I'm going to try to make this very long story really short, but to explain why you didn't get the video you were promised, nor the video I actually intended to make for this week. Okay, rolling back to last week and last video, I mentioned to you guys that somebody had offered to sell me like a very large lot of rainbow high dolls that would be great for dyeing a ton of colors I still wanted to try, at least while I'm waiting on Series 3 to come out. Well, everything went well. The person sold me the lot. I got it for a really great price. You know, shipping was kind of expensive, but it's priority. It's not as bad as if they were like on the West Coast or something. They were only a few states away, you know, but it was still kind of expensive because it's 2 boxes because of how many dolls it was, and they're both pretty heavy. So it makes it from her state to mine pretty much overnight. Like, I got tracking, everything is good, the seller was good. She shipped it before I even paid for it. Like, she had that much faith in me, which is really cool. So yeah, it was one of those things where it made it to my state, but currently the city of Richmond in Virginia, their post office has so many employees gone because of COVID and other issues. And they've never recovered from like Christmas time. They are so far behind that people are getting their packages like a month or even 2 months late. So one of the things also that people had a problem with was they're sending stuff as it's coming in, but not always. So as the postmaster told me today when I called about my missing packages, they are having some trucks that are just going and sitting in the lot, and then as new ones come in, if they're not too busy, they'll unload those. But then these packages over here that like have been there for like weeks aren't getting sent out. So stuff wasn't coming in a timely manner. I called the post office. The package is still late, but like it's not necessarily missing, it's just sitting in a truck in a post office parking lot somewhere. So my postmaster said that he would send them a message, tell them it was a time sensitive package, well, packages, and hopefully get them moving so that they'll be here as soon as possible. But they're also getting a ton of other calls from a ton of other people with the same problem, so it's not even guaranteed. So they didn't show up yet, hence why you didn't get the huge unboxing video and talking about what colors I was going to dye them all and laying out plans for future videos. Now, I thought last week, you know what? I'm at the antique mall. I live not very far from the largest antique mall in America. And they have tons of booths with vintage dolls, Barbies, Bratz, Mycene, the occasional Monster High, etc. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to post some pictures to my Instagram. And a lot of people were really curious. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I do a YouTube video and give you guys a guided tour around the antique mall? It didn't go well. So I was going to do that Tuesday because I was like, I have that day off. I can go to the antique mall, film the video, get it up. It'll be good. So Monday, wait, I guess I should give you like a little backstory. I suffer from multiple chronic pain syndrome or like symptoms, and I have like multiple health issues. So, in order to control the pain, one of the things I do besides take a lot of medication is I get these things called trigger point injections, where they're kind of long needles and the doctor like jabs them into your muscles and injects it with like anti-inflammatories to help with the pain over a longer period of time. Usually it helps for about 4 weeks before I can start feeling it fading off. They're really painful. Depending on what doctor I get, sometimes they do something called dry needling as well, which is where they just take the needle before they put the like medication into your muscle, and they just jab around a whole bunch. And apparently it's supposed to like help the muscle do, I don't know what actually, but I get like these really bad knots in my neck and back that leave me like completely unable to move, sometimes in tears. They can be pretty bad. So every 6 weeks for the rest of my life, and for the last almost 3 years now, I've had to get these shots. Well, my doctor left. I saw a different doctor this week on Monday. He actually gave me a lot more shots than I normally get. He gave me 14 instead of 10. Now that doesn't sound like a big difference, but trust me, when somebody's jabbing needles into your muscles in your neck, it's a big difference. My last doctor also wasn't comfortable doing the neck injections, but this doctor was. So in all of this, I think it was just more than my body could handle, and he also put like a different medication in as well to help for a longer period of time. which is great in theory. But apparently, my body just couldn't deal with all the pain that I was in from getting the shots because, on top of being in regular pain, these shots are excruciatingly painful. Like, they're really awful. They're very, very hard to, like, get through every 6 weeks. Like, I dread the day, but at the same time, I know that it'll stop me from being in way worse pain for at least the next 4 weeks. So, you do what you gotta do. But, like, apparently, like, I don't know, like, my body just couldn't handle it, and I ended up having, like, a panic attack later that night. I've never had a panic attack, not like that, not like I started getting pain in my arm, and I was really kind of worried, um, because it was really sharp, and I was like, "Well, what if it's just, like, a side effect?" Because he gave me a lot of shots, like, in this area, um, and I don't know why, but, like, apparently my body just freaked out from that. Like, I couldn't catch my breath. My heart was beating a billion miles a minute. I started feeling disoriented and I couldn't figure out, like, which direction I was going when I was walking. My hands started locking up and I couldn't, like, control them. Like, I knew in my brain what I wanted my hand to do, but my hand was not trying to do that. So, like, I freak out thinking, am I having a heart attack because I have pain in my left arm and my heart's beating really fast and I can't breathe? Anyway, I wake up my husband, he takes me to the emergency room because he's really worried, and because I've never had a panic attack before, like, I had no idea. Like, I actually only figured it out after they ran, like, a billion tests, and it was none of those things, and I was trying to look up symptoms to be like, "What is wrong with me?" Anyway, so I was in the hospital, like, until, like, really late, like, the next morning, didn't get a lot of sleep, so Tuesday just kind of was me sleeping it off. Like, I needed a couple of days to recover. Here it is Thursday. I'm still in pain, but I'm feeling a lot better. So yesterday I had to go pick up some medicine. I was really depressed because I've had a really rough week. On top of all of that, in doll news, so the packages are missing. I had ordered some stuff off of eBay after my big like Monster High sale last week. One of the dolls I ordered came damaged and it wasn't mentioned or shown in the pictures for the eBay listing. It's not even serious damage. I was just kind of like annoyed because they didn't mention it. Another doll, like I had mentioned, like I wrote the seller and I was like, hey, am I going to get tracking when you mail this out? And she was like, well, I lost it. I don't know where I put the doll that you bought. I'm gonna go and give you a refund. And she was really cool because she even said on top of the refund, I could go in her store and pick out any doll for the same price, and she would give me that doll for free plus the refund. So the seller was straight cool. Like I can't really complain. Unfortunately, I didn't need any of the dolls in her shop. So she went ahead and gave me the refund and said that if she found that particular doll, she would send it to me for free. Like she was saving my address. So you never know, but just in case, I went ahead and bought another one and ended up being like $10 more. So like it was just a really rough doll week. So yesterday I'm out picking up medication and I see the most perfect Amaya Rain. Like her makeup looks really good from what I can tell. Like I looked at the top of her head and I couldn't even see spots in between the rooting. Like she was very, very thickly rooted, had like excellent hair, excellent makeup. I really didn't need another series 1 Amaya, but at the same time, because she has white hair, she's perfect for dyeing light colors. And I'd really been wanting to dye somebody who fell in between that white shade of original series 1 Amaya's hair and that bright yellow that we see in Series 1 Sunny, Cheer Sunny. So I really wanted something that fit in between there. Not only that, because like I could easily do a light yellow, but a couple of my friends on Instagram had already done that kind of light yellow. So I decided to go like supernatural blonde, like almost platinum, like really pretty blonde. So you guys know how I feel about human hair dye. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's more expensive in most cases. I mean, you're looking at the cheapest is $3, which is not that bad. But if you're getting like one of the good ones or different colors, you can be looking at like $8, $9, $10, which is still not that serious. But liquid Rit dye is like $3 or $4. And it's done in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, versus human hair dye that you have to leave on for hours and hours and hours. It's such an excruciatingly long time, and you can't tell when you rinse it out if it's going to be the color that you want it to be anyway. So a lot of folks have had really good luck, especially with like the darker browns and stuff. When I did the first human hair dye doll that I did, which was a Sunny doll, I think it was Cheer Sunny, and she had, I'll try to add a picture. But I did like a half brown, half blonde thing. Now, the thing with the half and half hair is that the human hair dye did leach over to the other side. Not only that, but I left it in there for like 3 or 4 hours. It was a dark brown. Like I left, went to a different town, had dinner, and came back. And so when I washed it out, it was more of a caramel color. It really wasn't as dark as what had been on the box, which it was fine. It was super, super pretty. She found a new home really, really quick because she was one of the ones I had dyed to sell. Everything was good, but I really don't want to have to wait 4, 5, 6, 10, however many hours. Like, I don't have the patience for the human hair dye experiment usually. But in this case, in order to get that perfect shade of blonde, I couldn't guarantee that I was going to get that at a Rit tan, just because with the tan, like when I did Poppy, it turned her hair lavender and green. You know, I've done other dolls where like I still ended up having to kind of color correct it. So I decided I was just going to go human hair dye, go all in. I ended up getting, I think it's Revlon, I'll add a picture, number 71 in dark blonde. So I figure with dark blonde, I'll have to leave it sitting a good bit. You know, I'm looking at like 4 or 5 hours in order to get it to like the medium shade of blonde that I want. I wasn't patient enough. I'm just going to give you that. But I'm glad I wasn't. Because with Amaya, I ended up deciding that I was really worried. I didn't want it to get all the way to dark blonde or even medium. Like I really wanted that platinum, you know, light blonde color. I did get it. Now, here's the thing, you guys. If you've seen my collection, you know, I try to dress everybody like color coordinated with their hair. Just like how they come when you buy them in boxes pretty much. Like if I dye a doll teal, I try to make as many of her clothes teal as possible. But in this case, like, I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to get her clothes to match her. So right now, please forgive me as I'm about to show you, but she has some Visco girl vibes going on. I just did like the wrist scrunchie and the shorts and the oversized tie-dye t-shirt. I really just need to put some like Save the Turtles on it, get her like a little flask water bottle, whatever. But yeah, so I'm going to show you the inspiration for her hair in terms of what color I wanted it. And I knew I kind of wanted it to have curl because the other Amaya's hair is very, very straight. In fact, both Series 1 Amayas that I have, because I have another one that was dyed blue, both of them have very straight hair. Although one, I cut some of her hair length off so that she would look different than the other one. But this one, I decided I wanted her to have some curls. So you've got your inspiration picture. This is how her hair turned out in terms of color. It's a super pale platinum blonde, really pretty, really natural. And here she is. I kind of did like a little hair braid. I was trying to figure out like how to do her hair different so that she doesn't look like the other ones. But here's how she came out. I don't know, like I kind of think I'd like her hair better shorter, but she has such good hair that I don't have the heart to cut it. So it is what it is. I do think I might give her different eyes later, maybe like Bella's or something, because I do want to see her, like I said, just look as different from the other Amaya, because she's going to be standing right next to the wet Amaya. Like in terms of rainbow colors, like she fits in between there. So I kind of like, even though they have different hair color, they still have the same makeup, whatever. I think I'm going to switch her eye color just to make them look as different as possible. But she turned out pretty good. Now, while I was doing that, there was another picture that I found. And mind you, these pictures have come from like Pinterest and Google. Most of them don't link back to like whoever the original creator is. So I'm going to kind of like smudge out the face or something because I don't know if this person would want their picture in my video, but just to show their actual hair as an example of what I was trying to get. So this doll isn't actually finished, but I did start on her at the same time. I wanted her to have this blonde and mint hair. I really love this picture. I think it looks really pretty. The only person who had light enough hair to do that, because I don't really put it on another Amaya, would be Bella. So again, I used the same dye on her. I did them both at the same time. With the human hair dye, I mixed it exactly like it said on the box. You know, I always put down like an old towel with like holes or stains or whatever, because my husband works on cars, so it's not unusual for us to have a towel with like grease on it or whatever, like grease stains. And we have a dog, so like I keep like old towels to like dry her off when we bathe her. So like I pull down like a fresh clean old towel, lay it down, mix the hair dye just as it states on the box. I always keep like baby wipes or like makeup wipes nearby. A lot of the human hair dye, unless you leave it on there for like a couple of minutes, it really doesn't stain. Like you can usually wash it off like or wipe it off right away with no problems. Now, I can't guarantee that's always going to be the thing because the punky color dye, I know that stains, like when I used it on my hair, like it washes out really easy and it stains really bad. But I know with like the Manic Panic, the Revlon, stuff like that, I haven't had any problems with staining. So, so I do the blonde dye. I decided in this case, because I'm going over the pink, when I washed Amaya's out, I was at the 3-hour mark. Um, Again, because I just didn't want to risk, I didn't want dark blonde. Like, I wanted it to be platinum. With Bella's hair, you could still really see the pink through at that point. I left it in a bit longer, like a couple more hours, went and washed it off. It came out like a beautiful shade of blonde, not even mad. But, I don't know, you guys. I was out of the Rit dye that I used in order to get the mint color at the bottom of my unicorn Bella. So I used, it was Ion Color Brights, I think, in Aqua and in Lemon. And I mixed those just like I had mixed the Rit in, I think it was like Daffodil Yellow and Aquamarine. Yeah. I mixed those two, and that's how I got the mint for Bella's hair last time. I did it this time. I didn't leave it in long enough. Just it mint's, I guess, such a light color, and those dyes aren't super, super saturated. So I'm probably going to redo it, but I think when I do redo it, I'm just going to like put some Rit dye in over it and call it a day. So her hair is not as minty in the back as what I wanted, but the blonde came out really pretty. I really wanted to also, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the majority of these dolls all come with the same hair texture, style, and length. It's all like either straight with bangs or slightly wavy and long. I kind of wanted to do something different. I've only cut one of my doll's hair before, which was the red Sunny that I did. I gave her like a bob, but that's because I had to use the other half of her hair to reroot huge gappy baldness in her head, because thanks MGA. Now don't get me wrong, most of these dolls are made in countries where their factory workers make really like 20 cents an hour. Like, they don't make anywhere near what Americans make for the same work. And their economy is completely different, and I get that. But if you look, a lot of these dolls are made in China. A lot of their workers, like a large percentage of their workers, live in the poverty level. So you can only be so mad at people who are not getting paid enough to even live that your doll didn't come with enough hair. Like, without it sounding really, really terrible. So here's the thing. Knowing that, like, this Bella was actually rooted pretty well. I actually cut her hair off because I wanted to mimic the style. I wanted something different from all of my other dolls. I still need to actually, like, because her bangs are kind of short and curly, I kind of want them longer and, like, with a little less curl in them. I'm going to, like, do a boil wash on them. I am going to redo the mint in the bottom of her hair. I don't think it came out as saturated as I want, but it didn't come out bad. So first of all, here's her hair. Like I said, the mint is just really pale. I'm definitely going to go over it. I feel like it's even more noticeable in person than it is in the video. The video has it looking pretty pale. Please ignore the fact that this Bella is missing a hand. Her new ones are coming from AliExpress. But I guess when I was doing stuff, I didn't put it in all the way on this body and lost a hand. It's probably been vacuumed up by now. I don't even know. But here she is with her cute little bangs. I am going to, like I said, boil them just so they kind of stay down a little better. I do frequently get asked how I cut my doll's hair, and I'm going to show you guys that here in just a second. Alright, so let's talk about hair cutting. Now, I'm not actually going to cut another doll's hair because I don't really have anybody who needs a haircut right now, but I might do that for you guys in a future video. Like, I have so many videos planned to cover everything you guys want me to cover. Like, I still want to do a clothing dye video once those 2 boxes come in with the big lot in them. Some more dye videos. I'll probably sneak some haircut videos in there because I saved a lot of styles and colors, and I really want to try to do those on my dolls. Like, for the most part, everything is ponytails, pigtails, wrapped ponytails. I need more than that in my life in terms of doll hairstyles. So, one of the things I'm going to show you guys right quick is check out this cute basket. So, it's a sewing basket that I picked up at Walmart, I think like week before last. But it's great for keeping all my like doll like supplies in. So, like, it's got like a top set that you can put stuff in. I keep my scissors, like rerouting tools, stuff like that in there. The bottom is also like pretty deep, so I can put like my cans of Mr. Super Clear and stuff like that in there and keep them in a dark, cool place. It's got like a little elasticy pouch at the top for stuff. So I try to keep a lot of my stuff organized because I'm not a very organized person. Like in real life, I'm kind of a hot mess. And living in a smaller house doesn't help. So here's what we're gonna do. I have like these very small scissors. I got these in like a 2-pack from Walmart for like $7. A lot of times, like if I'm sitting at my desk doing this, I'll go ahead and like I keep a spare stand. It's just one of the white-haired Amaya stands. But like I'll keep a spare stand. I'll even put the doll on the stand when I'm cutting their hair sometimes so that I can cut around and have it lay exactly how it's going to. I'm going to throw a link down below because recently sugarx.free on Instagram did a like a haircut video for like doing bangs on dolls that I thought was really, really neat. It's not how I've ever done them, but I really like it. Like she does this thing where like she wets her hair, puts it down, you know, bands it, and then uses like hair clippers with a small head on them to kind of like, you know how men get for like their beards and stuff, and goes just, you know, across to cut the bangs. Some of the tips I want to give you, not related to that video, but I am going to link that video because I'll link her account because it's on there, but it's really, really good. She uses a karma in the video and gives her the most perfect bangs I have ever seen, including how they come stock on the doll because usually they're a mess. But some of the tips I'm going to give you is A, cut the hair longer than what you think you're going to need it, because especially if you have it rubber banded down, once you take that off, until you pour the boiling water over, a lot of times it's going to like curl up and be shorter than what you meant for it to be. And when you're cutting the hair, don't pull it down like this to cut it, because as soon as you let it go, the hair goes back up. So you're going to experience like shrinkage that you shouldn't if you weren't. So I just tend to stand the doll up and cut like vertically. I don't even know. I've watched too many Brad Mondo videos too. So to keep that in mind. So I've been cutting and dyeing hair for years and years. I didn't go to school for it. I actually went to school for mortuary sciences with a heavy interest in the restorative arts and doing like makeup and stuff on dead people. I don't know how I became a photographer. It just, life. So anyway, I ended up working as a photographer. I took up doing makeup art and painting, body painting, stuff like that on people. And then I learned as I was doing shoots, like I didn't have the money like when I first started to hire a hairstylist, hire a makeup artist, all that. So I just learned to do all of that myself. So please note when I'm giving you guys tips, I don't actually know what I'm talking about. I only know what my experiences are. There are going to be professionals out there who are going to be like, bruh, no. That's real. So anyway, so I tend to stand the doll up and kind of figure out how long I need their hair. Honestly, if they have curls, you definitely want to cut a little longer than you think that you want because they are going to spring back up. If they have straight hair, again, I still don't pull down, but it's a little easier because you can just kind of go in and do a blunt cut if you want. I don't tend to do a blunt cut because they're weird to me. Like they look not bad, but they look kind of unnatural just because like your hair doesn't grow like that. Anyway, so I tend to like figure out where I need and maybe snip like a small spot off and then just go like this and cut vertically so that like, so that it's kind of jaggy, like not jaggedy, like raggedy jaggedy, but like natural flowing versus blunt cut. And same with bangs. With bangs, I do tend to do the same. I do them longer than what I think I need them though. So like if I want bangs that are going to be eyebrow level, I will cut them closer to here. Because these dolls have eyelashes that stick out, please, please, please be careful because you will cut off your doll's eyelashes. And I guess like if you had like maybe medical tape or something, I don't know if I'd use like Scotch tape or anything with a super sticky residue, but you might even be able to like just kind of put something across their eyes when you're cutting their bangs so that you don't cut their eyelashes off by mistake. But yeah, I just use my scissors, cut longer than necessary, and just kind of trim in vertically. If it still looks too thick or heavy, I'll even use, like I have a pair of like thinning shears, which are these weird scissors that have teeth in them. And it's kind of like a zipper looking. So when it trims, it doesn't, when you're thinning hair, it doesn't cut every single hair. it only cuts like some hairs, I guess, and it cuts them at like different lengths, just so that it's a little more natural looking. Sometimes I'll even do that. For this case, like I said, I just used a basic small pair of scissors and trimmed vertically slightly longer than I needed. That way when I put more curl in and it did kind of spring up, it was still long enough. So that's pretty much everything for this week. Like, I have her in this outfit because I bought this outfit thinking her hair was going to turn out mint. It's just not minty enough. I am going to redo that, so you guys will probably, hopefully I'll have it done by next week. You guys can see her then in a more finished state, especially once I get her bangs kind of boiled down a little bit. And maybe her hand will be in by then. So it's weird because I didn't know that AliExpress would like, I guess like do like Amazon does, where they package up two things from like multiple different, or like multiple things from multiple sellers. So I actually have another Star Darling doll because I only have one. Okay, I have this really weird thing where like I have to have two of like at least every doll brand because it's weird. Like I feel like they're gonna be lonely because if they're the only one like themselves. So I just got that second Moxie Teen. I just got a second Pinky Cooper in. I have a second Star Darling on the way. So she's coming from AliExpress, as well as a pair of hands. I was really sad to find out that they quit selling rainbow high eyes on there because I missed out on like the rainbow star eyes because I was scared to order from AliExpress for like a while. Because like I figured they're like Wish, but like I hadn't heard good things about them. But now that I've been kind of following in some doll groups and like watching people post about AliExpress, most people seem like they have a pretty good experience. So I went ahead and ordered stuff. I missed out on the eyes. It is what it is. I've been seeing people use like BJD eyes and stuff like similar to that in their dolls. So then their doll has like no upper eyelid and they have like no eyelashes. So it's just these big terrified looking eyes. But anyway, you guys are probably tired of me rambling. I'm really sorry that I didn't get to make the videos I wanted to make for you guys. I hope that those packages come in within the next week, and hopefully maybe next week I can make that video. If not, we will definitely, as long as my health manages to hold up and not be crazy again, go around the antique mall and check out all the vintage Barbies. Either way, those videos are getting made. It's happening. It is. Will I use human hair dye again? Oh, not if I don't have to. Not a fan of how long it took. But to obtain this color, it is Revlon 71 in dark blonde, 3 hours. This one, because it's a little more pinkish, again, same dye, but it took me like probably like 5 or 6 hours. I don't even think I kept count at some point. As far as the mint goes, I'm definitely going to use the mint Rit dye version that I showed you in an earlier video, which, like I said, is a mixture of the aqua and yellow. And I will be back next week and I'll show you guys how she looks. Yeah, I guess that's it. Like, I will see you guys next week. And like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram for more pictures of stuff. All of that stuff you guys already know. Peace out.